something that I gave at Cornerstone about 15 years ago. And it's all by memory. I wrote it. It's from the Bible. It's about the young woman that had heard that the teacher from Galilee was coming to be at Simon's house at noon. But she got up that morning and she sat up on the side of her bed and she yawned. She said, "Why do I feel so? What is that feeling I'm having? Kind of happy. What's making that? Oh, never mind. I'll get breakfast. There it is again. Oh, I know now. It's because when I was in the marketplace last evening, I heard two women speaking, and one of them said that the teacher come from Galilee was going to be at Simon's house at noon today. I met him once. He forgave me for my sins. I'd love to see him again. You suppose I could? It's supposed to be hot today and dusty. I'm gonna go anyway. I can do it. So she just wrapped up some bread and cheese, put it in the pocket of her shawl, slipped her feet into her sandals, went to the door and looked outside and stopped momentarily and said, "I know though when I meet people they'll shun me and they'll walk across the street because I have a bad name here, but as long as he's forgiven me, it's okay, I'm going." She started out on her little journey and she began, her first steps were just kind of plodding. And then the further she went, she felt herself skipping. And by mid-afternoon, she saw the house. That's Simon's house. I'd know it anywhere. That's it right there. As she approached the porch, she noticed the huge, heavy oak doors with big brass hinges and handles. So very timidly, she knocked on the door. And almost in an instant, the huge doors opened back and a man nearly as big as the doorway answered and said, frowned at her, "What are you doing here?" "Well, I brought an alabaster offering to give to the teacher. Is it okay?" "No. Go your way." But by then, the door had swung back. She could see across the room by a big window, and there the teacher was sitting. Jesus said, "Let her pass." All the other men in the room began to grumble and mumble and complain about letting such a person come in home. But he told them to be quiet, and he bade her come over to him. "Sir, remember me?" "Of course I remember you. You were forgiven." "Yes, and I brought you something. I brought you an alabaster offering." By then all the men began to complain and say, "Don't waste that. That could be a month's wages. That's a waste." "Shh. None of you brought me anything. She made it a point to bring me something. This day will go down in memory for her. This will be a stone for her." She began to open up the alabaster, and instead of kneeling in front of him, she knelt behind him and began to pour the expensive ointment on his dear feet. She took her long, beautiful chestnut hair and dried his feet. It was very quiet now, The mumbling and grumbling had stopped. She finished and she rose to her feet. Had a deep breath and smiled. And she thanked the Master. He smiled at her and he said, "No, thank you." And she said, "I'll be on my way." And the other men began to say, "Good, good, good." And again the Lord stopped them and told them to be quiet. She went out the door and she heard the large door slam behind her, but it was done. What she made her mind up to do was done. She started on her way home and she giggled a little bit because she suddenly realized she'd been so happy that she had forgotten to eat the bread and the cheese. But now it tasted far better than it ever would have if she'd have eaten it any sooner. Now, on the way home she said, "I'm going back through the marketplace. It shouldn't be closed yet." So she made her way back through the marketplace and she could hear the children. Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. And they were putting the doves back in the cages and covering them up, and the marketplace was closing. And as she went home, she began to put a little melody, few little words to that. "I've been with the teacher today. He paid attention to me in a special way. This has been a crowning day. Da 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 da, bum bum." She went in her door and she was so pleased. Sure, her feet were dusty and she was very tired, but she did exactly what she was supposed to do. Courage came when it was supposed to come. And indeed, it was a crowning day. Now, back to Dee. I have to tell you this. When my 23-year-old granddaughter was about 7, she was my audience, and I did this for her. And when I was finished, she said, "Grandma, why did you sing about the Muffin Man?" And I said, "What, honey?" She said, "You did, you sang about the Muffin Man." And I had forgotten that when she was about 3, I had sung, "Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man that lives in Drury Lane?" Oh, but she hadn't forgotten. So the Lord just saw fit to put mine and her little audience together later on to give us a good reminder and a good memory. It's beautiful. I love to do this. It's one of my favorite things.